Is there a more recognizable villain than Darth Vader?
Some would call him a hero. Yeah.
Chill.
Chill. Hashtag Empire. Welcome to Reactive Reload, a radio show you're always on time for. I'm just one of your hosts, Irish Cowboy, joined by your other host, Crossover. We are going to be reloading the gaming entertainment news for the last week or so and reacting to it. I know. Hey, whatever happened to E3? Was it the P? Was it the C? Was it the PC? Also, don't tell your wallet, but we've got a few highlights from the Consumer Electronics Show. But first, does your console have a chicken tray? No? We're done here. There were a couple things, not as much that happened in the entertainment world.
How did we not talk about this? What? The KFC console is real, and you can heat your chicken with it.
And I shared it. You know, I want it. I want it bad, and I want it now. Man, I mean, like, does your console have a chicken warmer in it?
A chicken tray? Yeah.
And genius, the heat produced from the console warms the goddamn chicken.
Yeah. Look, what a... Although, like, you would not want your console to get hot, though. So that's
that
kind of a catch-22.
Is next gen.
Yeah, that is a catch-22. But here's the crazy thing. So far, I don't know. According to Forbes, the KFC console is being built in partnership with PC maker Cooler Master. It's more of a custom PC build than an actual console. But it will have a beefy enough specs, pun intended, and is capable of running games at 4K 240 FPS.
Jesus Christ, that's next gen as fuck. So now you know how a bunch of other consoles are saying that, oh no, we don't have heat. Our console runs cool. There's no heat added, you know. And then Xbox is like, yeah, we got heat. I mean, that's how we're able to show you all this great stuff. The KFC console says, yes, motherfucker, we have heat. That's the fucking point. So we can warm your goddamn, and we're gonna control it to warm up your goddamn fried chicken. Mic drop.
Yeah. And it's gonna incorporate the Intel Core i9 9980HK processor. There we go. Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SSD.
Jesus, you know when Drumline where he drops the drumsticks, I want to see him doing that with like actual chicken drumsticks, and then he drops the chicken drumsticks after just some kind of promotion for this thing. But what kind of games is it? It's gonna be like a PC. Is it gonna be a Steam?
That's
machine?
What it seems like. They're saying that it's in partnership with PC Maker, so it makes it seem like it'll be more like a custom PC that you just buy instead of like an actual console. You know what I mean? But they could brand it as a console, I guess, if they wanted to. I don't know. Like what I guess definitions do get kind of foggy, especially with like kind of the consoles that we have now.
Whatever happened to Madbox?
Over into that space. Whatever happened to what?
Madbox. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I was excited. The console was going to be shaped like an M, but they got rid of that. I don't know why. I am baffled.
Yeah, it looks like it just never took off.
Yeah, a lot of people stopped talking about it for a while afterwards.
But KFC, it wasn't a meme. Or if it was, they brought it to life.
People laughed it off right away. And
how couldn't you? They literally their selling point was that it'll heat your chicken. That was all they said about it.
Yeah, that was a launch trailer. It was epic. It looked good. It looked like it was really well done, but it looked just like one of those April Fool's trailers that even Nvidia will put out sometimes.
Yeah,
like that. That's what it reminded me of.
And then all of a sudden, KFC Gaming Twitter page gets a blue check mark and just says the console wars are over.
Yeah.
Power your hunger.
Without a doubt.
Jesus, what a ballsy meme move.
Trolls. Like, I mean,
they went all in for the memes, didn't they?
It's totally over, you know?
Yeah.
Because like it is going to be the most powerful console. You know, we're talking about it's kind of lame that you can't that we couldn't find skins or stuff, or we couldn't get like a limited edition Series X.
Yeah.
Well, what makes me feel all better about that is the fact that no one really has one. There's hardly anyone who has one. All the comments you see in all the videos is this thing is impossible to get right now, along with the PS5. Well, that kind of makes me feel. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but it kind of makes me feel. It makes me forget about
part of the 1%.
It makes me forget. That's all we want in a limited edition console, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it was truly limited edition. By the way,
I mean,
I'm gonna make a shirt that says limited edition.
The limited part was the console itself.
Yeah, yeah. I could just write limited edition on it.
Yeah, with a Sharpie. Make it a gray Sharpie though. Yes, it'll stick out more.
Like I think they have like metallic Sharpies.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
the metallic gray one.
Those are cool. Those are really cool.
More good news. If you're a fan of Lucasfilm, two big things have happened recently.
Oh yeah,
Disney to bring back the Lucasfilm Games brand for future Star Wars titles. Unclear whether or not what that means, but Lucasfilm Games or Lucas Games was, when we were looking at Star Wars 1313, obviously my favorite, the Knights of the Old Republic. This was the banner that it was under. So hopefully this is a sign of things going back in that direction. And if it is, I'm so happy.
I think what it's evidence of is that he made a big fucking mistake, right? And that he knows that, and he's actually been working his butt off to try and make it right. If you were listening to, I can't remember who that one guy is. That one.
Who do you mean by he though?
He.
I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. I mean God.
God.
I mean God.
Bob Iger.
Yep. There's this one YouTuber. What was his name? That we can't ever prove anything he's saying.
Oh, Mark Zero.
Mark Zero. Yeah. Like the way he talks is so. It's so defined and so articulate, but the one thing that triggers me is when he puts Star Wars Explained in parentheses at the end of every single video in the title. You can tell he feels like that's his safe thing. It's Star Wars Explained, so I can just rattle on. I can
just write whatever the fuck I want.
Right? He can write some like clickbaity, eye-popping headline. And then he'll say, well, I'm just explaining the pop culture for Star Wars this week. He'll be like the recent news, what everyone's talking about. I'll just briefly mention that. But in my title, I'm going to act like that's what this entire video is about. But just in case you guys are confused, it's real. I'm just explaining Star Wars.
I don't know how he makes that many videos of him saying like nothing verifiable.
It's like the movie The Informant with Matt Damon. That's what he reminds me of. I almost couldn't sit through that movie. But
and for legal purposes, we're not saying that Mike Zero is full of shit.
Right.
But what we are saying
is that
we haven't been able to verify anything.
Right. We can't verify a damn thing. But we do
maybe he's got really good sources. I don't know.
Who knows?
This isn't to dog on him or anything like that. He's much bigger than we are. But I can't use him anymore. I think we used him like in one show, and then like after that, I'm like, look, dude, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't verify any of this. Yeah, I was like, what he's saying is interesting, and that's why it was worth talking about in that episode. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't, like after we were done, like I couldn't like even before we got on, I couldn't. Where is he getting this?
Right. Because all I'm reading is that Kathleen Kennedy is just being a dick at people right now. She doesn't like that the Mandalorian's successful 1 week, and 1 week she does. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with her. I hope she's.
I mean, her name's still on it, so I can't imagine why it should be, upset that it's doing well.
They're hating on Gina again.
Yeah.
Or boop. Yeah, for retweeting something or commenting on something. Oh yeah, it's like, then why do you have fear in your eyes or something? Like she made some quote or something. And people immediately took it towards like a political stance, like right away. Oh man!
Well, one guy that will never happen to is Todd Howard, and he and Bethesda had a big announcement. Did you see this?
I heard that they're going to be closing on the deal soon, or they're expected to, the first quarter of 2021.
It's already in the works, Morgan.
What is?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. Okay, so I have to say this about Indiana Jones. It is my shit. I love it. The only reason my Halo character, from when I first got into video games, the only reason my Halo characters were brown was because Indiana Jones basically wears all brown. Like, that's how much I love Indiana Jones. That's the only reason. for years. The whole like leather jacket thing going on. Indiana Jones. My logo. Why didn't I bring this up? My Irish Cowboy logo. I sent the guy a specific picture. He was like, so do you want like a cowboy hat on your logo? And I said, no, I want this hat. And I showed him a picture of Indiana Jones with his fedora. And then I sent him another picture of Indiana Jones smirking. And I said, hey, and I have the notes on my account for this, on my Fiverr account to prove this. I said, hey, I want you to make my logo smirk just like Indiana Jones in this picture. So when I saw that news about the Indiana Jones game, I got super, super excited. I'm really hoping for big things here. That would be exciting. If it's an open world game where we can just go and watch what the Nazis are doing, I mean, I kind of want to like actually be involved in trying to stop the Nazis from doing something, as opposed to the movies where he literally just watches everything happen. Yeah.
But Bethesda tweeted out now 13 hours ago, a new Indiana Jones game with an original story is in development from our studio, Machine Games, and will be executive produced by Todd Howard in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. It'll be soon, sometime before we have more to reveal, but we're very excited to share today's news.
That's
so
exciting.
Already, Lucasfilm Games, which was announced as a thing yesterday, is pairing up with Bethesda. So I guess the biggest question for most people is, do you think that this will be an Xbox exclusive since it's Bethesda, or do you think that it'll just be on Game Pass but also available on PlayStation?
Well, when we first heard the whole Xbox exclusives thing with Bethesda, how awesome was that? When that first week when we got the news and they made the announcement that they bought this or whatever, and like all the Sony fans around the world were pissed. They were angry about it. They were so upset or whatever. Why couldn't we get them? Their salty tears gave us a sense of pride for a little while. Right?
Sure did.
And I'm not going to lie, it felt good. We finally have something, had something to say about the exclusive argument, which is still, in my opinion, dead. It was dead before the announcement. Nevertheless,
you don't want to be Miles Morales, man? What do you got against Miles?
Nothing, dude. That design for the PS5 Miles Morales console that Xbox poster up was fire. I would have bought that in a heartbeat. What I'm really getting at is that we really heard the news what exclusives meant with Bethesda, and that it was just going to be a timed exclusive for the most part. Now it's not completely confirmed, but the guy who is in charge of the money, right, between the deal with Microsoft and Bethesda, that's what his impression was of this. And I don't know his name. I wish I could, so I could reference it like a professional, but I don't. But he was basically saying it's probably going to be more of a timed exclusive thing. And we still don't have the full details on that. But I'm also leaning towards that. I mean, it's not like they need the money to also sell the PlayStation. When Microsoft buys something like this, an acquisition like this, Phil Spencer gets a sense of accomplishment out of it because he doesn't like the whole exclusive thing. He's tired of hearing about it. And this, in my opinion, is a genius way of tackling that exclusive argument. Well, Xbox has no games. We do have games, and we want to share them with you guys, the Sony fans, too, which is a pretty good message, in my opinion. But even though for us it did feel good saying, oh, it's only going to be on Xbox or whatever, and it really did make the Sony fans mad when I think about it, a timed exclusive thing does make sense. I don't know how I feel about the best version is going to be on Xbox, because it was weird when they did that with Sea of Thieves. Remember when they gave Sea of Thieves 4K HDR on Xbox, but on PC, they limited that. That was a weird decision, especially because it's PC. I hope that doesn't happen, because that's a tactic by Xbox and Microsoft that I can't really get behind. It's a little weird. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Madden did something similar where their HDR update for the next-gen version of the game only came out on Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah. Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. It did not come out on PC, which is even more weird, because that wasn't even like it's not an exclusive to either Sony or Xbox.
That's a weird practice.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe their argument is that PC can pretty much up that themselves anyway, so who the fuck cares? But I don't know, whatever.
But I'm all for this Indiana Jones game, whatever it is. I want 3 of them.
And just to back up to like what you were saying, Phil Spencer talked at length about how much he hates exclusive, and he went further beyond that, like a personal dislike. He went as far as to say that it's ruining the gaming industry,
and he is
so right. Yeah, and I don't disagree with him either. But for now them to have some exclusives, you can tell that it's not something that he necessarily wanted to do, but you and I talked about it at the time, so
Yeah.
we don't have to go into it as much as we did before. But for him to get this and for them to go forward with the exclusives, I'm sure he's going to have something to say about it, and it would make sense if it's more of a timed thing.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. It's like, yes, we bought these people and we want to share these games with you too. Like that's a really good
and it
move.
could also be a lot of pressure being put on both Nintendo and on PlayStation to accept Game Pass.
What we do know is that Nintendo and any conversations
laughed him out of the business.
Laughed
him out of the building.
Yeah, well, what I heard was that all their conversations have been good so far. They've had really easy conversations, and I don't know what those. You
didn't see the insider stuff?
What was the insider stuff?
So there was a former Xbox employee. So I guess you can take this with a grain of salt, but they said that they went in there. Xbox pitched them as like buying Nintendo.
Really?
And they literally just laughed at them for like an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, is Nintendo really that good to not have really much business for a while? Are they sustainable? How long are they going to last? Or do they have a plan? I don't think they have.
I mean, they've got a huge market in Japan,
right? And that's probably all they need to be, sustainable. But I don't want to say the P word or the C word right now, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know with that going on, like how Nintendo's really doing.
Oh, this is who it was. Yeah, it was Steve Ballmer who actually said this.
Oh,
the former CEO. That's who it was. It wasn't just an employee. When did he leave? Since I had read this.
Or he probably just gets the cliff notes sometimes when he wants them, right? From the notes.
Well, so in response, so this is from inputmag.com. It was in response to Microsoft's approach, Nintendo executives reportedly laughed for an hour.
An hour?
Yeah, that's what I said. They laughed at him for like an hour.
I'd be winded after that.
Steve Ballmer, the former CEO for Microsoft, sent Backus and others to make the pitch. Steve made us go to meet with Nintendo to see if they would consider being acquired, he recalled. They just laughed their asses off. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That was kind of how the meeting went.
Man, yikes. Well, the conversation that I was referring to was where I heard about, Xbox Game Pass being on the Nintendo store. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'm not sure if I was thinking of a similar conversation or not. But yeah, this was months ago when I heard that every conversation they had was going smoothly.
That was from Phil. That was from Phil. Phil said that.
Yeah. That his goal is to get Game Pass on as many places as possible because he wants to share all these games.
I think he wants to get some of that sweet Nintendo IP.
Oh yeah.
I think he wants to get some Mario action in there.
Well, they've already
Super Smash Bros.
Well, they've got Ori, and I downloaded Ori. I'm going to play that. It looks really good. It looks really, really nice, and it's almost a similar concept, but the game is gorgeous. If people like 2D scrollers and stuff, like I really want to get into some different games like that. I really just want to get back on the Xbox and start playing more games again, as opposed to when I wake up like being scared to death because I'm like, oh, I got to catch up with all these season passes.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. Like I'll get on Call of Duty, and as soon as I start getting a weird feeling that my Xbox is going to die, I immediately get off of it. It's like when you see a shark in the water. So I'll play like a game or two. Like the game feels really good. It's amazing. I still think Cold War is an amazing feeling game, amazing looking game. Don't give a shit about Destiny right now. I don't think they're ever going to do anything new or different. I mean, they added the new subclass way too late, and the area they took away more than they added into the game. So that's not a cool move. That was not okay. I don't know why they chose to do that. And they're just going to like take away guns and bring them back in later, but you have to grind for them, even if you have a god roll. Terrible practice, and a lot of people are fed up with it. And Division, I'm still getting on there, and as much as I hate that, I hate everything. I've ranted on enough about. I hate who they choose to be. Cross.
I'd hate so much of the things that you choose to be.
That's right. Michael
Every
Scott.
time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Streaming on Peacock.
that was another app that popped up that was just downloaded that I didn't even download. It was Peacock. I'm like, oh my goodness. So like they're doing the whole push for HD, 8K TV television, which is great, right? But everyone's moving to streaming too. So I guess they're going to look the same in quality. But for the longest time, streaming apps were the way to go, and everyone's jumping on that bandwagon. But people are jumping on it way too late, i.e., Peacock. Absolutely silly. Netflix has Big Bang Theory now. Weird, because HBO Plus now Go, whatever it's called. They used to have that for a while. So I don't know. It's really confusing keeping track of TV. I just want things to be boring again. Cross. I want to just be able to like come home and on the couch, watch some TV, flip around the channels. G4 came back. We forgot to cover that. I guess I don't know how they have come back. I haven't got to see them yet, but apparently they're. All I know is that they have a Twitter account now. maybe they are on television. I don't know. But I would love to watch it just so I can think about how things used to be. Used to come home from work and watch that every night.
Yeah.
Attack of the Show.
Yeah, G4. I think all of it's coming back. I think, or was it G4? Or was it just Attack of the Show?
That's a good question. They I think they called it G4, but it was.
I feel like they really popularized having the hot nerds. Underwood and who was the other one with the dark hair? Oh,
that was crap. I could
feel almost, like she blew up first.
I could almost remember her name in X-Men.
Blew up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they popularized being hot and being a nerd, so thank you for that.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was great.
Okay, it got nerds a lot of credit. Also, earlier today, AMD announced that they have a new gaming chip. I don't know if you saw this, but for their gaming laptops.
Who does?
AMD. They're launching a new gaming chip.
Really?
Yep. So it looks like the chip is expected to launch in roughly 150 laptop models this year, starting in February, and provide 17.5 hours of normal use on one charge.
Yeah. So the AMD is like they're kicking ass right now, and a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of AMD fans. There's a lot. They're the loudest out of all the PC chip fans. They're the most loyal. I always buy Intel though, but most people who get Intel aren't talking about how great Intel is all the time. It's literally you never hear people say that. But I enjoy the i9 9900K. They're saying the 11900K is not going to be. They're saying it's not going to be as great. So we're going to have to probably wait at least another year before we get a new solid like next gen type of processor from them, which is okay. I'm sure people are just fine with their i9s. I'm going to make this i9 go as long as it can. Like I'm not having any issues when I put the Corsair H115i Platinum RGB Pro blah 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 whatever cooler on it. I literally haven't had to do anything to it. It's literally just there. It already had thermal paste on it and everything, and I it's amazing. I love it. I guess I got a good one, which it never happens. Never happens.
Then news for some people who are looking to buy a gaming monitor that may not have, a
Did you get yours?
Amount of coin. No, not yet. February. A super amount of coin, but the Gigabyte QHD HDR gaming monitor dropped down to $329, and it's got a little bit more to offer, especially for like $330. 1440p. With 170 hertz refresh rate.
Nice.
So it's not bad. It's not great, but I feel like that is solid bang for your buck at $329. So
as much as I talk about
market, check it out.
That's a good. That's
and Gigabyte too. They're a good brand. That's who when I built my first PC, I used them as my motherboard.
And those motherboards are like some of the coolest running operating motherboards around. They're which is kind of cool. I got the Asus Maximus code motherboard. I haven't seen an updated PCIe 4 version of the Maximus code. I guess they probably just did away with it. It was kind of
the reason too I went with Gigabyte is exactly why you said, because I went with a mini tower design.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I got a lot of cooling.
Yeah. That would be a small space. Is it an ITX?
I don't remember what it was.
Well, ATX is the regular size. ITX is for the mini PC builds.
Yeah, it was an ITX.
Nice. That's what I was going to go with in the bundle with the Omen Cube. I love that whole Omen line. You know, we forgot to bring up the most important thing, and this is another reason I'm kind of salty right now. Is that the beginning of January, man, is like it's like a Super Bowl for me almost. Now that E3 is not a thing anymore. It was CES 2021, and that is for anyone curious about that. That is the Consumer Electronics Show, and this is where Samsung, Apple, LG, they all reveal their things that are going to make you go bankrupt in just a few months. Samsung announced their new, what was it? LG actually whipped out the QNET before Samsung did, and that was not expected because I literally shared a picture with Cross about the plans for the next 5-10 years about where TVs were going. I was really confused. Everyone wants to future proof it. Everyone wants to get something that's going to be good for a while. That's why most people bought the LG C9 with the full spec HDMI 2.1. Well, now all these TVs coming out this year are going to have full spec HDMI 2.1. Huzzah! Fuck yeah!
Huzzah!
But some of the really good ones that people want to look at are Samsung's mini LED. That thing is going to be amazing. It's basically just smaller backlighting, so you don't get those little blue spotlights flickering around all the time.
Crap!
I dropped my headset.
Oh.
I hit mute on my professional studio microphone as quick as I could.
Fell.
That's right. I just yelled mute at it. That's how advanced it is.
Well, before you yelled mute, you yelled crap.
Yeah, that's
kudos for you for not swearing, because I just would have said fuck.
Oh well, I mean, I think we're at the good hour for that.
Yeah.
Though I don't know what YouTube is going to do with their algorithm now. They're probably scanning the whole damn video. They probably got all the support. They got whatever they need. There's going to be some new Samsung. They got a new Dolby Atmos soundbar. It's probably going to be pretty expensive. I don't know. I'm looking to upgrade to Dolby Atmos in the home. It would be great. I love my Harman Kardon system. I don't know why they stopped making AVRs, but it's going to take something good for me to actually give this up. But there's been big tech announcements from NVIDIA, AMD, and Sennheiser. Sennheiser's been coming up. LG, Samsung, Sony, TCL, all these guys. TCL is doing mini LED the right way. But I have been told, though, that Samsung's mini LEDs are not true mini LEDs. So you're not going to get the best picture possible that you could. And I'm really kind of salty. LG is now rolling out. I'm glad they're finally fixing this. But basically, for those of you afraid about burn-in, you're not going to have to be worried about burn-in. And really, you would never get burn-in. You would just get something called retention. And it is something that even if you spot it on a gray screen, like in the Xbox menus or areas that you hardly ever go to, it'll go away shortly. Like that whenever you turn off your TV, if your TV has been on for about 3-4 hours, it's going to do a screen pixel refresh when you turn off your TV. So when you turn off your TV, an LG OLED, you'll hear a pop right away if it's not doing the refresh. But after like a few hours of HDR gaming or movies or whatever it is the hell you're doing, you dirty little electronic nerd, all you're going to hear is nothing. And then 15 minutes later is when your TV actually turns off. You hear that pop. And it has done like a short little 15-minute screen pixel refresh, and then you won't have any of that retention. And retention is always see-through. It only shows up a little bit if you're not being responsible with your OLED TV. And if you're going to shell out the money for an OLED, you better be responsible for it. But all of that is going to get a lot better now because OLED has a new technology that cools the screen a lot, I guess, better, I should say. Because basically, we're going to be dealing with quantum dots and OLED put together and some of these QNED TVs that LG is going to be putting out. They're also upgrading their existing OLED technology because really there's not much more they could do with OLED. It's kind of at its peak right now. And that's a good thing. I love my OLED. I think it's amazing. I had problems with it right off the bat, but hey, that's what Amazon was trying to get its shit together.
QNED Flanders.
That's right, QNED Flanders. I told Cross, you're gonna see something called like it was QD OLED. Don't get quantum dot OLED because it's not ready yet. It will be in a few years, but people are going to push it out. And Samsung, there are two different companies. They're putting out two different types of technologies. One of them is Neo QLED, which is their term for the mini LED lights. And that will give you a better picture, better contrast. You'll get a lot less spotlight effects. I don't even know if that's a real thing. but when you just see the backlighting on your TV and it kind of makes things look a little blue. It was, I didn't mind it that much, but when I got my OLED, I hated that effect. And I'm so happy that OLED does that, because there's no lights that pop up. It's just the pixels themselves emitting their own lights. And it truly is amazing. And if you get a really good one and you take care of it, you're not going to run into any issues. Don't like buy into the whole, oh, well, they don't get dark enough. Well, these TVs, these new OLEDs, they're going to get over 1,000 nits, which is crazy. But even 1,000 nits, no one needs things to be that bright. Like my OLED like blinds my eyes if I turn it on without any lights on in the living room. They can get bright. The only thing is they wear down after a few years. Man, I'm rambling. Sorry. But it's okay. It's CES, and I haven't gotten to talk about this, and it's such an amazing event, and you just see like the coolest technology things that come out.
Yeah, especially without E3.
Yeah,
being there for us gamers. You know, this is kind of the one event that we had so much fun with that. To nerd out.
We would get people together in a party. We would hang out. We would watch E3. It didn't matter if people were on a delay or not. I say that, but it really does. but at the same time, it's still fun, and we don't get that anymore. I miss that.
It's almost the equivalent of to when Netflix took away the ability for you to watch movies together, like in a little party area.
Do you remember when?
Remember that?
I do, and that was a thing on Netflix, and everybody enjoyed it. It was just like Mystery Science Theater 3000. You had your own little guy there in a movie theater. It's fun. I love those group watching things. It doesn't matter what really is on for the most part. Everyone's still having fun, controlling their little avatar. It looks like you're in a theater. But now with VR, you could probably just you get that set up anyway. I'm sure. Do you remember when Santa Keeley was saying that he's backing out of E3, and that was like a big deal? And everyone kept being weird as they kept saying, we're going to be backing out of E3 this year, which was 2020. And he made this comment. He said, knowing what I know, I don't feel right about supporting E3 at this time. And that was before we even knew that, the pandemic was about to come. So I'm wondering if they knew about it, if they got word, or any event coordinators got some kind of word about it, or if that was even what they were talking about. Because the rumor before that was that they were going to be backing out indefinitely because they were trying to get away from the whole corporate sponsorship world, and that the corporations were going to have more control over E3. Almost how E3 originally started as a place where developers would just, pitch to companies, investors and stuff. And then it turned into this huge gaming event, a beautiful gaming event that everyone just loved. And it was so exciting, and celebrities would go there, and it was just a place where everyone could be gamers. But apparently there was a big push to take that back and not have as much of a convention for everybody. So I don't know. There's two things that could have happened there. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. I don't know. Those we might not ever get the answer to that. And that's the one thing I want to know. Maybe if E3 ever comes back in some fashion. I mean, it's basically the Summer Games Fest now. So
I guess time will tell if E3 has gone to like this really corporate kind of almost like a stocks meeting, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. That's how it started. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but I don't know how much it's going to help them. I mean, those guys really don't pay attention to what fans like anyway. They just pay attention to what blogger is going to flame them. Emulate.
Which very specific bloggers will flame them.
Right.
And take over the video game industry and run many, many games.
Right. That's why a lot of friends I know who have gotten into politics and talking about it and making posts was when that kind of stuff hit the gaming world. And I'm not going to lie, I was already almost there too, hearing about some of the bullshit that was coming into this place where everyone likes to go to escape. Like we were talking about earlier, gamers, doesn't matter what's going on. Gamers just want to get a Gjallarhorn out the quickest way possible.
Yeah, well, if it makes you feel any better, these people that are coming for us, they're not sending their best. So
that's right.
Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
All will be well.
I hope so.
We are winning. We will win. All will be well. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
That is true. It's damn true.
Liam Neeson says that he'll be interested in coming back to Star Wars as Qui-Gon.
Really? I'm okay with that.
He had like this little teleconference interview or whatever, COVID stuff. And he was really hesitant at first because he was like, oh, well, you know, none of the fans is like, and I'm sure just because of the Jar Jar Binks hate. Which, man, how good did we have it with Jar Jar Binks in the recent trilogy of movies? But Jar Jar Binks, all the hate. So Liam Neeson is probably maybe even taken some of that personally. You know what I mean? Like a little bit, just because he was involved in it or whatever. And so they told him, they're like, you know, a lot of people would like to see you back. He's like, well, I haven't heard that at all. So like the person who's like, no, trust me, the Star Wars people, they love you and they would love to have you back. And we do love him. And Qui-Gon, the character was so good and he did such a good job. When he found out that they're not really doing the cinematic thing, like in cinema as much, like right now at least, and they're focusing a lot on kind of television, he said that he like smiled and he said, yeah, I'd be up for that when they brought up the Obi-Wan series. So who knows what that means, if like that was like a little tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, idiots, I'm already a part of it.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I hope we need something to latch onto. Real quick, did you hear Congress now has 180 days to publicly disclose what they know, or the CIA has 180 days to publicly disclose what they know about UFOs? Pretty crazy. They don't have to share it with the public if they don't want to, but it has to be. That was what was coattails of that really rushed relief bill they had to sign, the 6,000 pager one. One of those measures.
Joe Biden gets there and signs an executive order and just says, you can ignore that last part.
Right.
You have 180,000 days. We forgot a couple zeros, 3 of them, in fact.
True. But I mean, that'll be kind of I picture at the 180 days from now, it would be almost the peak of like, I don't know, you know, maybe the country will still be here. Maybe it won't, who knows? But by that time, shit has started and ended by then.
I'll tell you this much. Based upon what's happened in the escalation in the last 2 elections, this country will not survive another one. So
I don't know how people...
Maybe it's not halfway through 2021, but it is definitely at the end of 2024.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to trust another election again unless there's like a huge event.
We've had back-to-back elections where the losing side refused to accept the results of the election.
Yeah.
Aiden Christensen's daughter has no idea he's Darth Vader.
Whoa.
Yeah, she has no idea because he quit acting to go raise her, basically, after the Star Wars stuff. He pretty much just stopped acting. He retired on his farm, I think. And he's just been raising his daughter pretty much.
See, you'll get...
And so she has no idea.
You'll know where he's coming from soon, right? So, like, I totally get that. Like, as I'm talking right now, my 2-year-old is just like, "Hey, Dad," and she's like using the little sweet voice she does to get me to do something. And because she has other voices, but she's using that little soft one that just makes me do anything. And so like you'll get it too. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I wonder what's gonna happen when she finds out that her dad is the most notorious villain in the entire universe, maybe ever. Is there a more recognizable villain than Darth Vader?
Some would call him a hero. Yeah. Okay.
Chill. Chill.
Hashtag Empire. You know.
Chill. Not saying that Palpatine was a good guy. I'm just saying that if he's so bad, why isn't he in jail?
If the universe is so big, why won't it fight me?
Yeah. But his daughter has no idea. I don't know how old she is. It doesn't say in this article. But that'd be funny. Oh yeah, well my dad's Darth Vader.
Force choke.
Yeah,
I gotta find some time.
Force shook.
I miss playing that game.
I write my own jokes in case you couldn't tell.
Anytime I get on Battlefront 2, it makes me happy. It feels so good to play it, and it's really nice on the Series X. We got to see some more enhancement updates. That's my wish list for 2021. Aliens and enhancement updates, maybe some martyrdom. Looks like we're going to have to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more. Hope you liked it. You can follow the show at Reactive Reload on Twitter. You can follow me at The Irish Cowboy, No Take Backsies, and Crossover at Reactive Branded. You guys have a good day, night, whatever the hell time it is you're watching this. We fucking love you.